Diane. She's got something to say. She doesn't know what's on the cards. Not at all. Right, you can start now, one at a time. Okay. 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 Right, put that one down. What the is that? Yeah, bugger. Thought I didn't know, didn't you? Come on, explain yourself.
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to Sunset Rants. I'm Biddy, your host, and I got my co-host here, Valley, with me. You can find us on X, so you can find me at Elizabethy213A. You can also follow the show, of course, on X at TheRealRoma_AK. Hey, girl, what's up?
Hey, now I noticed in the beginning it said like Taylor and D, and I was like, oh yeah, because there's been like such a switch up this week because you had Taylor yesterday, and
Yeah,
so
we're all just a
I'm
big
like,
family.
yeah, I'm like, what day is it even? But yeah, good to be here. You can find me at the Callie Melody on X. I am your common sense advocate, and we're here to just go over a wide range of topics, both locally, nationally, and internationally. So I
Absolutely.
know that we were going to start off. If you just want to hop into that, we have our first focus of the day, which is the big story, which I can't really
Yes.
relate to be
It's
honest.
not really new.
Um,
No, you can't. But you know what, though? Where you live, you always have the most beautiful weather. So I don't even want to hear about it anymore. You have
um,
like the most perfect weather all the
I mean,
time. Well, not all the time,
this is
probably.
kind of bizarre for me, because even though I'm in Southern California, like I am more inland. So we do
Hmm.
typically get whether that's, the late 80s into the 90s, with a higher humidity rate. But it looks like, all across the rest of the US, specifically on the East Coast, you guys are having extreme heat warnings. I'm seeing, on TikTok, a lot of people who are on like antidepressants are getting like heat stroke. They're becoming like really, really faint because they're not
It's
hydrating
bad.
properly.
Like you can't
And it's like really
breathe.
bad.
Yeah, because sometimes, like, when you're out and and it's like you're in the sweltering heat and you're sweating,
Mhm.
obviously, like triggers go off in your head and you say, okay, I need a drink of water. But sometimes, like if you're inside and you're so dehydrated, like your throat starts to close up, like sometimes you don't realize like, oh my gosh, I need to go get a drink of water. And like the risk of dehydration is, is very high when you're
Yeah,
dealing with this stuff. So yeah, like right now
absolutely.
it's where I'm at, it's 86 degrees and it's 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, and
It was 100 yesterday. It's
yeah,
like,
and like what's even more dangerous is like when you combine that heat advisory with the high level of humidity. Like
mhm.
here, we're used to like more dry heat, and like even in Arizona, they have like 100-degree temperatures, but they have a very dry climate. And depending with like what you're used to, some people will argue that like a dry climate is easier to breathe and navigate in than a humid climate because everything's sticky and moist and also like dry. And so
Yeah,
just like
maybe.
looking at
It
the map
depends on the
here,
person too, because
yeah,
they like some people need dehumidifiers, some people need humidifiers, like so it can yeah. But yeah, take
yeah,
us
for
away.
sure. So yeah, so just looking at like the map here, you have, Arkansas, you have Tennessee, you have Kentucky, you have even like the Carolinas as well, New York, which I know you're at,
Yeah.
Boston,
Like
Michigan, like that whole
it's just hot. And you know what?
yeah, the whole like
Like
Eastern Hemisphere.
it's such a garbage bag around here that
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it just smells like hot garbage. It's not even like, oh, it's nice and it smells like coconuts at least or something like that, like you're in a tropical area. It like no, it smells like hot garbage. Like it's
Yeah,
really
well,
bad.
we're about to get into why and a couple stories why
Oh yeah.
it's about to
Yeah.
get worse for you with the hot garbage.
Oh, I know
But
we got a little like video here, dude trying to tell us how hot it is, even though we already know. But
yeah,
Second,
we can
we've
play
got
that.
the extreme heat warnings. That's up and down the I-95. So that's just basically where it's telling you it's going to be the worst for the worst for everybody that has to be outside. You got a pocket up here near Detroit, northern Indiana, and even the parts of Ohio. But I mean, we're talking heat alerts coming all the way down into the south and really impacting basically the eastern half of the country. So that high pressure ridge that Steph indicated is basically sitting overhead and not moving much. Now, you will get some storms riding around that ridge, but underneath it, you've got a lot of
yeah, and I'm in the extreme heat advisory section of the map.
Yeah, and so the article basically reads like tens of millions across the Midwest and Northeast are sweltering just under this brutal heat wave Tuesday as actual temperatures, not just the feels likes, because again, like we were saying, like oftentimes with that high humidity, the actual temperature might not be that high, but you are having both of those. So some
Mhm.
people are seeing heat over 100 degrees. And when the weather is hot, shade becomes a vital resource. But unfortunately, the Northeast, which is baking under the ongoing heat wave, is lacking, doesn't have a lot of um, shade and greenery in some places. So the
Mhm.
heat wave, is a result of a strong bubble of high pressure aloft, also known as the heat dome, which is scary. It
Mhm.
reminds me of like the show Under the Dome, where everyone's just
Oh,
sweltering
I watched
under.
that show. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, I think after the first couple seasons, I was kinda over it. I was
Yeah.
like, "This is kinda too dystopian for me." But,
Mhm.
it's kind of like when everything, is compacted into one specific area, and you just feel like all of that heat is and precipitation is just
Mhm.
coming down, right? So,
Mhm.
it says, "Air in the center of the heat dome sinks, which suppresses cloud formation." So,
Ugh.
when you don't have that cloud formation, you don't have, any shade, you don't have any of that overcast weather, and that the same weather patterns that brought the hot air is also preventing the formation of the clouds. So there's like zero relief to the region. And yeah, there's just like not too much going on. And it looks like it's been lasting for, what would you say, like the past month?
Yeah, well, not really. Like over the, I think it's, I feel like time is just like flying too, so I can't really gauge it. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's been like maybe a week and a half where it's like really been getting like into these crazy temperatures. Like for a while, we were just dealing with a ton of rain. But
Yeah.
yeah, yesterday, was it yesterday, yesterday or Monday. Again, my like I can't, but I think it was yesterday. It was like 100 degrees with 100% humidity. It was so bad. Like even you could feel like I have central air,
That's
thank
wild.
God. And you could feel it like fighting the humidity. Like your body, everything, like right now, like I put like lotion on and stuff like that. I feel sticky. You know,
No, that
it's just like
even
so
just hearing that,
uncomfortable,
yeah. So,
like inflammatory. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Like some of the wildest temperatures, according to the Weather Channel, taken as of like 4 Eastern Standard Time.
Mhm.
So basically, Baltimore was 110 degrees today. Philadelphia,
Oh,
yeah, Philly 106, Boston
that's
106,
diabolical.
Charleston 106, St. Louis 105, Charlotte 105, Nashville 104, Memphis
No,
104, just like over 100 degrees
no,
all the way down. Um,
no. We can't
and
have this. This gotta go away. This
and
can't
now
happen.
New Yorkers, oh, you're gonna love this. New Yorkers are asked to conserve power too because of
Yeah, okay.
multiple
Everybody, you walk by. Yeah, okay. No, seriously though, like people aren't going anywhere, right? So everybody's doing this, or they're on their computers, or they're watching TV, and you like walk by and you just hear like all the rumblings of everybody's unit.
yeah.
It's like that's not happening. Nobody
They're gonna like
listens.
they're gonna like have no knock warrants go to your door and be like, "Do we hear an AC in there?" Like
I know.
that's
I'm gonna be
crazy.
like, no, I
Yeah.
don't have an AC because I have central air, so I wouldn't be lying. So,
It says how to know if you have like heat stroke, hydrate or what? Hydrate or dehydrate.
or dehydrate. Wait, I
Oh,
don't know where you are. I I can't see it. I don't know where you're reading.
it's a little further down, but it says
Oh,
hydrate or DIE drate. Or
like a
D,
little play on like a pun or
I
dehydrate.
guess. That was a very
That's
bad
really
pun.
cold.
That
The
was,
Weather Channel.
yeah,
What is the matter with you? Are you all right? Yeah.
yeah.
No,
They
no,
like
this has got to go away.
they give zero fucks. They don't have
they
any
do,
empathy. They just record the
they just
facts.
report the weather. Like
Yeah.
they probably live in
Yeah.
their own dome and they don't care. No, but like
Voters
usually we
crave
get this
heat.
heat in August months. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't happen this early in the season. But I have this like theory that I feel like the seasons are pushing, but
Mhm.
I felt like they were pushing back because we were getting like extreme heat during like the October months. But so now it seems like it's pushing forward. I don't know what's going on. It's climate change.
Okay.
That's what's happening.
My camera looks a little blurry to me. I don't know, guys. Oh well.
Just a little bit. You're all right. But you look cute, so it's
Just a
all
tiny
good.
bit. I
Yeah.
know. It's like going in and out. It's that Biden Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But
All right, so stay cool,
I was
stay
gonna
hydrated.
say,
Don't
yeah, I was gonna say, again, going to your opinion on the primary today. Voters brave heat in New York City. So you guys were so brave today.
I feel brave, actually, now that you
You
mention
didn't
it.
even go out.
I didn't. But you know what? I'm dying right now because our alleged producer, as he likes to call himself, even though he's totally our producer, he puts all this stuff together.
Right.
He says it in the background. He's like giving us a play-by-play of like what he's dealing with his heat. And I'm just dying over here. I can't repeat what he's saying, you guys, but it's funny.
He's gonna be
But
like,
yeah,
do it.
yeah, but no, but all jokes aside,
Yeah.
for real though, like if like check on, I mean, I know people always say this, but it's just good to remind people, like check on your neighbors, especially the elderly, make sure everybody in your community is good as much as you can, your family members and whatnot. And just hydrate. Like even if you don't feel like you need to drink some water, you definitely should hydrate on the regular and drink that water
Are
as
you
much as
are
you
you
possibly can.
are you
What?
trying to say this because this certain elderly person doesn't hydrate?
Listen, if you're elderly, then I'm ancient because I'm older than you, so I would never. No, but yeah,
Oh my god,
definitely,
I keep
definitely
going
stay
out of
hydrated.
focus. Look at
Oh,
me.
and you know what else? Why are you so blurry?
I don't know.
Go like
It keeps
this.
like
Do the thing that AK does. Like do
I
this
think
and
it
then
keeps
like go
pulling
back
my
slowly.
camera out. Wait.
There you go. But
No.
you know what's really
Wait.
good though? Like cucumbers and strawberries. You ever put them together and make like a little mini salad? It's
Okay, I'm
it's
back.
really good for hydration, the cucumbers.
I know
And it's
cucumber's
nice
good
and
for
fresh.
like cucumber water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I didn't even ask. My husband went to the store to get me like taco stuff because I didn't get to eat it yesterday. And then he brought home a cucumber, and I was just like, see, like it's better than flowers. He's like, you didn't ask for it, but I know you like cucumbers.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
All right, so what do we got next on our list for today? Because
Yeah.
we got a lot of stories, especially ones that are probably going to get a lot of rants. Um,
Trump
so yeah,
schedules
coming
direct
to
talks with Iran.
yeah,
I need to be more educated. I kind of flip flop between Iran and Iran. Um, don't
Iran,
hate
yeah.
me. Don't hate
I don't
me.
know, what, but yeah, coming to you
Whatever.
from the AP, Trump says U.S. and Iranian officials will talk next week as ceasefire holds. Dubai, United Arab Emirates, Israel, and Iran seem to honor the fragile ceasefire between them for a second day Wednesday. And the U.S. President Donald Trump asserted that American and Iranian officials will talk next week, giving rise to cautious hope for longer term peace. Trump, who helped negotiate the ceasefire that took hold Tuesday on the 12th day of the war, told reporters at a NATO summit that he was not particularly interested in restarting negotiations with Iran, insisting that U.S. strikes had destroyed its nuclear program. Earlier in the day, an Iranian official questioned whether the United States could be trusted after its weekend attack. Quote, we may sign an agreement. I don't know, Trump said. The way I look at it, they fought. The war is done. Um,
I
yeah.
don't
So
really.
I don't think
Look,
it's
he
well,
says,
yeah.
I was gonna say, look, he says like, oh, the ceasefire is going very well, and then you get him, kind of. I mean, it wasn't a hot mic moment. He was totally mic'd up, but you caught him when he was like very frustrated. I saw like the
Oh yeah, he
C-SPAN
leaned
coverage
into that.
where
Yeah.
he was just like, they don't know what the fuck they're doing,
Yeah.
and I think that was just his like frustration coming out.
Yeah, I mean,
He never really like hides how he's feeling. But he tends to be more diplomatic, and he was just kind of like, I think he was just very upset that within the first hour, and we talked about it on Monday, right? We were pretty much like,
mhm.
okay, so within the first hour, um, they're already Israel is sending strikes uh to Iran, and then it was going back and forth, and neither one of them really committed to the ceasefire agreement.
Yeah.
Um,
Like allegedly like yeah, they came out and they said
allegedly.
there was no like, actual acceptance of it all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's so Trump says they're supposed to be talking next week. So that
Hmm.
might just be him saying like we're going to talk. Like we don't, there is no like confirmation about like how these talks are going to go, if they're going to go whether they're going to be in person or over the phone. Most likely I'd say they'd be over the phone, but I guess we shall see. But up until now, the Iranians have refused to engage in direct conversation and like direct negotiations with the United States. They will only talk to the U.S. through a mediator, Muscat Oman, um, and they have kind of like a history. Like we've used them before. There was let's see, Oman has built a reputation as a neutral mediator in Middle Eastern conflicts.
Okay.
They, so we've used them before in other talks, they facilitated a secret U.S. Iran talk in 2013, leading to the 2015 nuclear deal and brokered the 2023 U.S. Iran prison swap, proving its credibility, so to speak. So, like, at least this is what this is what is being said. So there's no like direct conversation. So I wonder. I mean, I guess that this happens with going through foreign policy and like leaders in certain areas, especially when you're dealing with a country that's kind of it's hostile, in nature for the most part. Like you kind of do it this way. But I bet I bet Trump would be a lot happier if he can talk directly to the leader of Iran
Hmm.
and kind of like, spit it out of his mouth and let it go right directly into his ear rather than having to go through like play the telephone game. But
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. But there's something that I was listening to earlier, and this could be propaganda. We don't know how real this is or not, but there are talks of mass arrests going on in Iran of alleged Mossad paid agents who were, again, allegedly
Really?
given instruction to carry out strikes from inside Iran. Some talks of nuclear scientists in Iran being killed. So if that's like, whether or not that's actually happening, if that is some kind of talks that are going on, then how realistic is a total ceasefire if this kind of like covert stuff is still happening? And it might
Yeah.
be happening on the other side as well. So like, I don't know, it
Yeah.
just
I
seems like
mean,
a powder keg all the time. But yeah, sorry.
right. And what I'm just reading is that, I'm seeing a lot of um, state like propaganda coming out in regards to that.
Oh yeah.
And, we really just don't know
Like what I
how
read could be
credible it's
propaganda.
going to be.
Yeah, like
Right.
you don't know.
Right.
You don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
But
Exactly.
again, if this is on the palette, if that's what they're talking about, then why, if that's what they're spreading around, then wouldn't that kind of suggest that maybe they're not ready to ceasefire if they're saying that this is still happening?
And the lack of senior government officials from both Israel and Iran coming out
Hmm.
definitely worries me.
Hmm.
It
Yeah, I mean,
definitely
and I
worries
I
me.
understand, like, not saying like, I'm not praising anybody, but I'm just saying I understand the idea of like you have to show strength if you're a leader. So if you're getting like sunned by the United States by getting like your stuff blown up, and you also just lost, if that's what happened, if they really took out their ability to build a nuclear weapon, whether or not there was a whole bunch of uranium in there, but the ability to, like, the infrastructure that has to be built, that takes a ton of money and resources to build, to be able to build these weapons, if that was taken out, you're not going to want to like come out and say, oh yeah, we got slapped in the face. Like you're going to kind of like save face a little. You're going to try and say things, you're going to do things, and that's where of course the retaliation strikes come from as well. But it's also, at the same time, they gave fair warning. So it's like you're doing it just kind of like to show the world stage that you're not going to just sit while something happens to you.
Yeah. So I'm just reading, when you're talking about the enriched uranium, it
Mhm.
says uh, Iran said it spirited away 880 pounds of enriched uranium before the U.S. bombed its nuclear sites.
Mhm.
And that now Trump is saying that the nuclear deal isn't necessary after U.S. strikes.
Mhm.
So a lot of
Yeah.
mixed messaging going on with how
Yeah.
much uranium they currently have.
Right. And that could be propaganda as well. We could have absolutely taken out a bunch of their uranium. They didn't move it. Maybe they did, but even if they did move it, which we were actually, Tay and I were talking about this yesterday, if they did move it, there's still that, remember that infrastructure that I talked about, that
Hmm.
like the ability to make the nuclear weapon it's not only relying on the uranium, the enriched uranium, it relies on a lot of other factors, a lot of tools and different things that you need to make these weapons. So, and it takes a while to do it. So if you obliterate that whole area of where they would have been working on these weapons, you just basically set them back years. So either way, it's going to strengthen our position over theirs, because we got the red button, you don't, like, kind of thing. But like, not really, I mean, not trying to make a joke about it,
Oh
but
my
it's kind
God.
of
Did
like,
you
that's
hear what Trump said?
what, the
But did you
Diet
hear
Coke
the
thing.
joke that Trump said? And he was the
Yeah.
Diet Coke thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't listen to JD Vance say it,
JD
but
Vance. Yeah.
yeah, but I did hear about the joke that he was saying something about, like, Trump's like, I'm gonna do it, and he's like, what are you gonna do? And then he presses the button, then he goes, do you realize what you just did? He said, something about, I ordered a Diet Coke. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, it's the
It's
Diet
crazy.
Coke button.
Yeah.
Insane.
Hopefully the Diet Coke
All
button
right.
doesn't look
So
exactly like the nuclear weapon button, but I doubt they'd be next to each other.
there's no Diet Coke button.
There totally is. There
No,
really
there
is.
isn't.
Yes.
No,
I swear there
no,
is.
there isn't.
I promise you. I'm gonna look it up, but I know we gotta move
No,
on to the
there's
next
no.
segment.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
there's no
I'm
Diet
gonna look
Coke
it up right
button.
now. Yes.
You can do that. Okay, so while I'm reading the next story, Biddy's gonna look up if there's a Diet Coke button. Okay, so
I can't
UK
even
Diet.
type because my fingers are so hot. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh my gosh, are they like sticking to the keyboard?
It's terrible, I'm telling you. And I got the
Um,
AC pumping. It's like a fridge in here.
UK to buy 12 nuclear carrying uh, what is it? F-35A jets from the United States and join NATO's nuclear mission. Look at that beauty. Okay. So, reporting from the Netherlands, CNN, the United Kingdom is to purchase 12 F-35A jets, which are capable of carrying nuclear weapons from the US. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, which again, or Starmer, I guess, who again is from the Labour Party, will make the announcement during Wednesday's NATO summit as it calls on NATO members to do more to support the alliance. I don't know why I said it like that. Okay. The UK's commitment to. No, I was reading that. Okay.
He put his hands up.
The, the UK's commitment to NATO is unquestionable, as is the alliance's contribution to keeping the UK safe and secure, Starmer will say, according to Downing Street. But we must all step up to protect the Euro Atlantic area for generations to come. So basically, this announcement follows repeated criticisms by Trump that NATO countries are not spending enough on defense. So, the
Mhm.
fifth generation fighter aircraft, built primarily by US manufacturer Lockheed Martin, is one of the most advanced fighter jets on the planet, but is also one of the most expensive. Yay, taxpayer money. The decision to acquire aircraft with the capacity to carry nuclear weapons also represents a major strengthening of Britain's nuclear posture. Means that in addition to. It's okay. Da, 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 da. Oh,
He literally
the
said you
decision.
gotta be quicker than that. Go ahead,
Oh my
please.
gosh. I'm a very fast reader. Okay. The decision to acquire aircraft with the capacity to carry nuclear weapons also represents a major strengthening of Britain's nuclear posture. So, what does this mean? Okay. So, this basically means that this move marks a shift in Britain's like nuclear defense posture in alignment within NATO's strategic doctrine. So, critics in the UK warn it may escalate tensions with Russia and Brexit, post-Brexit diplomacy. Diplomacy. Wow.
Did
Okay.
you say diplomacy?
Yeah. Yeah. Like the DJ Diplo, like diplomacy.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
the
know.
remix. Yeah, go
Yeah. Okay.
ahead.
The jets are part of a broader effort of UK's air capabilities. I don't know. Anti-nuclear advocates call it a dangerous and outdated strategy. Like, look, we already know the UK is going to follow whatever the US is going to do.
Mhm.
The jets are scheduled for delivery beginning late 2026. So,
It's
you
like
know, I,
80
I,
million pounds per aircraft.
yeah,
So it's like $1 billion.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know enough about, how much we should be spending. But to me, that does seem a
Well,
lot.
yeah, I mean they're buying it from us, so they're giving us $1 billion for these
Yeah.
aircrafts.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Um,
here we got capable of carrier operations. It's not capable of carrier. It was never designed for that role. This is the Air Force variant. It's a conventional takeoff and landing aircraft. It lacks the tailhook, reinforced landing gear, and folding wings required for catapult launches and
then
arrested
why are we
recoveries.
using it? Or why would the UK be using it?
Why would they want it? Yeah. This
As
is the
opposed to a F-35B?
I don't know, but isn't that what like it says in the it says the United Kingdom is to purchase 12
Brian,
F-35A
we're just
jets which are capable of carrying nuclear weapons.
Brian, we're just girls. We're just girls. Do you have anything to say?
All right. What it looks to me like.
we
Can you hear
gotta
me?
get the military man. Come on, you're our military
Yeah.
Actually, I
correspondent.
got to mute myself in the Discord. Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah.
Anywho, as I'm diving deeper into this, it looks to me like Britain is buying these jets for the Royal Air Force and not the Royal Navy.
Mhm.
Okay. I would think the Navy variant would be more useful for what they do, but
Right.
the fact that they're buying them for the Royal Air Force tells me that Britain has decided to reverse long-standing policy about maintaining intermediate range, quote unquote, tactical nuclear weapons, because what F-35 Alphas are outfitted for and designed for is to launch nuclear-tipped cruise missiles, which are almost always, by definition, a tactical nuclear.
Okay, so it's like being used as a propellant kind of thing. Yeah. All right, thank you, Brian. Thank you. There was no way I was gonna be able to spit it out like that. That's why it's perfect to get him to like
We're
come
just
and just
girls.
break it down. Yeah, I try. He tries to teach me about the military and all these different things and stuff like that, and I'm just it doesn't click. I don't know why. It's just hard. Like all these different like acronyms and like numbers for things and different ranks and stages and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I like my eyes start going. But yeah, so like it looks like it looks like they do buy from us quite often. I think it was like in 2020 to 2024 they purchased 50 Boeing AH-64E Apache Guardian helicopters. In 2022 they acquired a Tomahawk Block V cruise missile upgrades, and this was a 265 million pound contract for the Royal Navy sub. So so I guess another add-on for their royal fleet, but fleet air force, like, but I mean it's good that we are making some money, but also the way that CNN, because like as Brian came up and told us like how things would kind of work, the way CNN is kind of saying it is like they're putting that word nuclear in it as if we're trying to spread the ability to launch nuclear weapons around the globe, kind of thing. I don't know. That's the way that's what
Right.
kind of I'm like reading in between the lines there, if I'm reading it correctly.
Brian wants you to dump on New York now.
Oh gosh. I literally last night when I found out that Cuomo conceded to Mamdani, all I posted was "F my life."
Yeah, he officially
and
dropped. He officially
and
dropped.
I
I'm
just
pretty
like
sure. I
I
can
went
find you
off
a
X.
couple.
Yeah.
I can find you a couple X posts that we can put up there. But
Yeah. But yeah, so just to kind of get, keep you, I mean, it's everybody's talking about this, but just kind of give you an update. So coming to from the New York Post, this was before we have the update. So it was asking, will Andrew Cuomo still run as an independent for NYC mayor in November? As you said, he kind of officially dropped out entirely, but former Governor Andrew Cuomo is still weighing whether to run as an independent for New York City mayor in the general election after his stunning loss to socialist Zohran Mamdani in the Democratic primary. The major upset put the Democratic Party establishment on high alert, but Cuomo may not be out of the race just yet, telling the Post on Wednesday that he was waiting to make a final decision about whether to try his luck as an independent in the general election. The only thing is you have to get you have to get your donors. They have to fund you for this. So his campaign said last month that he would run on the independent fight and deliver ballot line in November, regardless of the June 24 primaries outcome, which saw the thrice elected Dem trail the 33-year-old Queens Assemblyman by a near insurmountable 7 points. He said, I'm looking at the numbers from last night.
he's
I
only
want to get an
33.
idea. Yeah. Not
Yeah, this is
Cuomo,
no, I know.
Mamdani. Yeah,
I
yeah.
know that's not good. That's not good.
I'm looking at the numbers from last night. I want to get an idea of what the general election looks like and what the landscape looks like and what the issues are, and then make the decision. Um, but the thing is that his his donor base, the people that are giving him the money to run, it's possible that they might move that money over to Adams, who is running independent. And he's been coming out also against Mondani. Of course, he's hoping to run against him. Um, but he's currently the only independent running, and then we only have one Republican running, which is Curtis Sliwa, who was the leader of the Guardian Angels for decades, that tried to help keep the streets of New York safe and the trains and everything like that. So, and he came out basically just last year when we were having like constant violence going on the trains and Hochul, and Adams, like nobody was doing anything about it. And so he kind of like unleashed his Guardian Angels to try and help. But there's a couple of things that, I mean, I know this segment is about Cuomo, but now that we know that Cuomo basically, officially dropped out.
Yeah, so I have I put a couple links down there.
Oh,
The second one is from Nick Sorter. There are a lot of X posts, but it is basically I don't know if you're able to pull that up. But it's talking about how Cuomo did officially drop. So it's, essentially you have a lot of
just
people on the right saying like Sean Farash is saying, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but New York City is in the process of picking someone worse, like worse in caps, than Andrew Cuomo to be their next mayor. I lived in New York for Cuomo when he was governor, experienced COVID lockdowns under him. He was brutal, he was a tyrant, and yet NYC found a way to get worse. The Mandami guy, if he holds and wins this primary, will be the next mayor. The GOP has no chance in New York City right now. He is a radical socialist. It's on its way
yeah.
to looking like the UK. What an embarrassment. And then from Nick Sorter specifically, it just says disgraced former Governor Andrew Cuomo is officially dropping his bid for New York City mayor after being blown out by Zohran Mandami. This gives Eric Adams a much better chance at re-election because there won't be much of a split vote. So it looks like a lot of people on the right, as far as Democrats and moderates, if they all kind of band together, then they perhaps have a better shot against
Well,
Zohran. And
yeah.
I
Well,
know
let,
that
let
you've done.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. I
I was
no.
just
I
gonna
was just
say, I
gonna
know
say.
you've done a lot more information on him than I have. I just know some of the things he talked about were like government-run grocery stores, $30 minimum wage,
Mhm.
um, all of these things that sound great on paper to progressives, but don't understand that is going to raise taxpayer dollars. If you think about grocery run stores, um, eh, the only countries that have grocery run stores are communist and socialist regimes that
Mhm.
have a dictator, right?
Well, yeah.
Check out
So I mean,
deadline,
okay. So
shortage
this.
of demand.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Okay, so all right, there's a lot to unpack here. Okay, first of all, he's not hiding the fact that he's a socialist.
Right.
So what he's proposing, people are accepting it as socialist programs that he's bringing to the table.
Correct.
All
Yeah.
right, there's a lot of talk going on right now. I was looking at some influencers stuff like that, and hearing what they had to say about it, and they were saying that he legally cannot just usher in government run supermarkets. However,
Mhm.
okay, I was looking up a couple of things. He cannot unilaterally do this. No, he cannot by himself, but he cannot bypass the city council. He, approving funding, real estate assignments, major pilot projects requires legislative report. It may require state legislative sign off. So he's currently an assemblyman. He's already like in the game a little bit. He's making friends. There's a lot of socialists in this city. A lot of them are in government positions, and I imagine he made a lot of friends. And I would say that he'd probably get some backing in pushing something forward. Not saying that he would totally say it can only be government supermarkets, but he could bring them in, and then that would mess with the competition with like the small bodegas and the small supermarkets and the other like
Mhm.
chains and stuff like that, where they wouldn't be able to compete. Then he's also talking about further taxing the 1% in this city. They're not going to, if you're part of the 1% and you got that 1% money, you're not going to stay here. So they're going to leave. And then like so on and so forth, like the 5%, like the, the people who have the means to leave, they're going to end up leaving. And that includes businesses and stuff like that. So he could essentially get this kind of thing approved. Like he wants to put one government supermarket in each borough. There's 5 boroughs, so he wants to do that. If he does that, if he gets that, passed through legislation, he gets some approval to put it in, like in some kind of like food benefit program style, like kind of like wiggles his way around it, like the Fresh program. Um, it's very possible that it could happen, and then it could push all of these other businesses out, and then you're only left with these government run supermarkets everywhere.
Right, right. And yeah, I
'Cause
mean
he's a Marxist.
you nailed it. It's not only is it going to mess with supply and demand, but it's also going to literally take down um the free market economy that
Mhm.
works for capitalism. And for anyone who thinks that we are strictly a capitalistic society, we're not. We're a mixed
There's a lot of
economy.
socialist programs, yep.
We're a mixed economy. So for
Mhm.
people to act like, we are strictly capitalist, we don't use Austrian economics. We use a mixed economy. We have a decent amount of federal programs. And people on the left are like, let's just, get socialism. But like there already is
They
socialism
have this, like,
introduced.
utopian thought about it, yeah.
Right. So
Mhm.
um eh, if you add too many federal programs, then again, these private enterprises and these small businesses, which I'm sure a lot of, liberal minded people own small businesses,
Mhm.
they're going to be run out. And,
Mhm.
it doesn't quite make sense to me. Um, I think that, when you really think about economics, like
Mhm.
having everything government funded and the fact that we are currently in an inflation
Mhm.
period,
Because yeah, because they
like,
can he can like, let's say there's just government-funded supermarkets. Let's just stay with the
right,
supermarket, right?
right,
You run everybody else out of town, right? Because
right.
they not saying you must leave, it's just like they have no choice. Then what happens? Then they can raise the prices, and then
It's
what are you
gonna
gonna do?
completely destroy the middle class.
Mhm.
There's not gonna be a middle class.
Mhm.
There's going to be, I mean, the left constantly talks about the billionaires and the 1%. Well, the
Mhm.
easiest way to get a divide between the 1% and lower class is to introduce socialism,
Strengthen. Oh, well, yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. And the only
right?
way to get rid of that divide is to strengthen the middle class, and that's something that
Correct.
Trump has run on. Yeah. You
Yeah.
want to know another thing that I was looking into as well? Okay, so this guy Mamdani, he was a rapper. Did you know about that? Okay.
Does he have a song?
Yeah. So at one point, so 2017, he dropped a rap track under his stage name, Mr. Cardamom. He was originally Young Cardamom, and then he changed it to Mr. Cardamom. It included the line, "My love to the Holy Land Five." You better look them up. And so the Holy Land Five, they were leaders of the Holy Land Foundation, which was a non-for-profit that the U.S. government shut down, convicting them in 2008 of funding over $12 million to Hamas. So
Oh,
this was
wow. I just
in
found an
20
article.
yeah, so this was back in 2008. So 9 years later, this guy drops a rap track talking about, you better look them up, my love to the Holy Land Five.
Hold on. I'm gonna show this site. If you want to bring it up, Brian, real quick. I
Yeah,
think this is super important.
yeah. It's making me nauseous. I couldn't sleep last night. I'm like, I'm not even kidding. Like I posted that like F my life, and then
Yeah.
like I just laid down and I was just tossing and turning all night. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe. I
So,
should believe it, but I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
all right. So, the Holy Land Five, unmasking a terror finance network and its modern defenders. In November 2008, five men were convicted in a Dallas federal court on 108 charges of funneling $12.4 million to Hamas. So, this was a case, the United States versus the Holy Land Foundation for Relief and Development, represented the largest terrorism financing prosecution in U.S. history.
Hmm. Yeah. So he's over here like rapping and saying like you better look them up, like being a tough guy. And then he comes out recently and like reporters are asking him like, do you denounce Hamas? Do you denounce Hezbollah? Do you not? He's like, yes, yes. And then they actually asked him like, do you denounce Sharia law? And he said, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but yes, yes.
Well, and there's some liberal commentators on X that are like, Sharia law will be introduced and you all will be Muslim, and it got like 100,000 likes.
Yeah, I seen people saying like, oh, it'll actually help you
But they're all
guys.
coming from like white straight men.
Well, that's how you take over a country that's this powerful, right? You use
Yeah.
Marxism. Like
Yeah.
you get it into everybody's head that this is the best route, that you start conspiracy theories about other nations and different things and who's really running what and all this other kind of stuff, and you break down the trust of the country and everything that you hold dear. And then you start introducing these people, and then you say, here, we have your savior right here. You guys were asking for it. You were shouting about it in the streets. And we got the guy for you. All you got to do is vote for him.
Look, everything, like you and I mentioned during the meeting earlier, everything is coordinated, right?
Mhm.
So the No Kings protests, the Free Palestine movement. I'm very anti-war. So I, of course, don't want anyone dying, but these movements are there's like Craigslist ads, like asking for seat fillers at events,
Mhm.
for protesters to join the streets. I've seen
Mhm.
TikToks of advertising No Kings protests as a day out with your friends.
Mhm.
Like people show up, they don't really know what's going on. They hear, a bunch of propaganda all day. They're like, fascism is on the rise because of Trump.
Mhm.
Never mind the fact that he still has the lowest deportation rates. Never
Right.
mind the fact that he, um, you know, has said he wants a ceasefire agreement between the two countries. Like,
Yeah.
no, we must get above fascism. So
Mhm.
all of this is coordinated, um,
Yep.
and I think before we move on to the next segment, a lot
Mhm.
of the reason why Andrew Cuomo lost, I think one has to do with timing, but one has to do with the sexual allegations.
Mhm.
So in the end, it didn't really matter what his policies were. And yes, he ended up being more of a law
It
and
never
order.
does. Yeah.
Yeah, he is more of a moderate, more of a law and
Mhm.
order type of guy, as
Mhm.
opposed to the lawlessness that is trending right now.
Mhm.
But I think what he did in his personal life also is a huge reason why he didn't win, and why he
Yeah.
did
It's
fail
more
so
of like a
badly.
popularity contest.
Yeah,
If you're going to give me some free stuff, that's
yeah,
all New Yorkers care about. Like,
right.
unfortunately. And, yeah, because I see a lot of people talking about like 9/11, and they're like, the same people that said they will never forget about 9/11. And then, 24 years later, they're about to elect this guy who's, has possible ties to like people who fund terrorist organizations, that and that kind of stuff. But I
Yeah, and
find
like the
it
only
really.
argument
Yeah,
Oh,
go
I
ahead,
was
go
gonna
ahead.
say the only argument that the left had was like, oh, if he was so into Sharia law, would his wife look like this? And then they brought up like his wife is like very, very good looking.
Hmm.
She's very pretty. And
Yeah.
it showed her in, not necessarily revealing clothing, but like
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
a summer outfit. I
Hmm.
don't quite recall what exactly she was wearing, but the
But
left was
it's
kind of
not
like,
like she's fully
oh,
covered up or
she wasn't.
anything like that.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no.
But
So
also,
it's
like, a lot of the people that were, like, really strong New Yorkers, especially a lot of, like, the firemen, like, my dad was a firefighter. He dealt
mhm.
with 9/11. He was in, he was a captain, so he was there, he was cleaning it up. He had to move out of this state because of the GZ toxins and everything that got into his lungs. So a lot of these, like, patriotic, people that had the money to leave, a lot of people fled New York. So
A
the
lot of
people that
people
are left
commute.
here, yeah, but
Yeah.
people that are left here that are going to vote are the people that like are cool with this stuff. But I
Well,
find it
yeah.
really funny that like the same people that are over here saying that it's going to be Handmaid's Tale if you like vote for Trump are voting for somebody who won't officially denounce Sharia law. And like, it's very possible that he could, try to usher that into the city. And then you'd really have a Handmaid's Tale, like for real, for real.
For real, for
But
real.
yeah.
Yeah, so let's see. We went over, originally we were going to talk about Cuomo's next move, and then it kind of turned into, Adams versus, um, you
Mamdani,
know,
yeah.
yeah, Modami.
But
Um,
oh, and by the way, real quick, I looked it
mhm.
up. He does have a button that he uses to order his Diet Coke. It's like a service button. Like, it's like you're in there working, whatever, he
That
presses
is
the
fucking
button.
hilarious, and it's
Yeah.
red.
I don't know what color it is. I think it's like one of those, what is it? I don't know. Oh, it's like a little like brown like wood box or something like that, but
Oh
it's
my
not
God,
red. Oh, well, it has
dude,
like a little button. I can't really tell. It's kind of
that
blurry.
is hilarious. Honestly, Diet Coke though, with all that aspartame, like just drink regular Coke.
I know, you might as well.
You just might as well. It's not
But he probably
superior.
likes it. I know people like love Diet Coke with like a little splash of lime, like they like the taste of it.
No, you can do
But
that with regular Coca-Cola. I
yeah.
have to
Or
make sure I
maybe
say
it's like
Coca-Cola
it,
and not Coke because that will be like clipped or something. Watch. Um,
but yeah, I
okay.
almost forgot to like tell you
So
about that. So but yeah, go ahead.
it looks like we are doing, are we just gonna go to caption this?
Aw. Yeah. Let's do it.
Some kumbaya while the world's burning.
Yeah, or having it like a picnic on the damn sun, like most of the Northeast and like middle countries dealing
Oh,
with right
yeah,
now.
very
Yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. All right, so yeah, you guys know the game. All you guys that come and watch us every night, this is Caption This, and we have an AI generated photo. You basically just um, give us your best captions. We ask you, the audience, to
Let's
please
go.
participate. Yeah, bring out your funny bone. Give us the best you got, and Valley and I will vote on the best one, and whoever wins wins. We are actually working on. I've been uploading all the Caption This winners and photos since December, so we're going to be working on getting like the first quarter of it voted on to see who's like the big winner, so we can turn that into a T-shirt that'll be available on our website, the risingmiddleamerica.com merch area. So look out for that,
See
and
what I
it
can
could
come
be
up
your
with.
caption. And you would actually get the shirt with your caption on it, with other little goodies and stuff. So I'm trying to think if I just like looked over at Mulgaris. It says fiery but mostly peaceful picnic.
Dude, he's gonna end up with like 10 t-shirts.
I'm telling you, between him, Aaron, and Vash, like they have so many wins. It's crazy.
Yeah. Let's see.
Okay, the ants didn't survive. All is right with the world.
Um,
Yeah, like don't they say like when like the cockroaches or something can survive a nuclear blast probably?
this like totally isn't funny, but I'm just saying something to say something.
Ah, the sun is making my cheese melt. I didn't even come up with anything yet. I have no idea what to say. You know what else too? Like I don't feel like it's fair if I come up with anything because I helped with the prompt. So I'm
Did
just
you
like
really?
yeah, I helped with the prompt on this one. So I think I'll just like stay out of it and just let you
Okay.
guys. So cute. That actually looks like really like comforting. I don't know why, which is really weird. How climate change activists think the future is. Oh God, for real though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rebel with No Yell says younger driest 2025 community picnic. Nice. Oh my God. What's his name? I always forget the dude's name. Oh my God. Graham
Oh,
Hancock. Are you a Graham Hancock fan? Because I love and like Randall Carlson.
I don't know who you're talking about.
They're just like they talk about like the younger Dryas period and just like the different shifts in climate over time and
Oh,
you know when
okay.
we went through
Okay.
like the ice age in and out of that and call it
Mhm.
I went down like a rabbit hole. I was like watching all their videos at one point. It was so good.
So yeah,
Diet Coke is a war crime.
that's what I'm saying.
Well,
That's what
they
I'm
have to get that
saying.
aspartame out of. Is that's in Gatorade too? The aspartame, or is in
Uh,
the other thing Powerade? I don't know. I
it's
feel like it
I
was in
I
something.
don't know. Soda's so regular soda will typically be sweetened with high fructose corn syrup.
Mm-hmm.
The soda that I drink is made with cane sugar, and
Mm-hmm.
then um artificial sweetener, which doesn't add on to calories, is very rarely like stevia, but it's like mainly aspartame, sucralose,
Sweet and low.
xylitol.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, like things like that. Yeah, but like even in
I
sweet
really
and low,
like sweet and low.
you're gonna have like aspartame and certain things that make up the sweet and low.
I know. I really like sweet and low too. It's like it
Yeah.
gives the perfect taste, but yeah, it's not good. Nuclear family
Um,
survives.
this is what happens when Hollywood asks Satan for just a little warmth on your vacation.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. Oh, by the way, guys, The Fringe, the new conspiracy theory shows that's going to be coming out soon. Maybe I don't know this week, maybe next week, but that's with our very own Vashnik. Don't forget to tune in for that because that's going to be awesome. I
So
can't wait for that.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. Um, let's see. Okay, so we gotta pick something. I don't know what to pick. What else is new?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go with
Hancock is awesome.
fiery. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Brian. Fiery but mostly peaceful picnic.
Yeah, I love that. That actually that took
Yeah.
me out. As soon as I turned to the right, it was like just perfect. Yes, I love that. That one's good. I agree.
We have a winner.
Yeah. Great job, Mogera. Great job. And great job, everybody. Thank you for your submissions. I love this part because like we talk about like so much stuff, especially I'm not even joking, like this New York stuff is really like getting to me. So I just love it that we like end the show with this. It just I need to
Deep
like go
breaths.
hang out with like a puppy or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
I just hope I even feel stupid saying it, but I just hope that New Yorkers will not do something stupid again. Like I'll be fine with Adams. I mean, we already know what he's about, so like, whatever, but I would love if Sliwa gets in. He wants to get rid of like the cashless bail for violent criminals. Like he wants to help, get rid of all the crime on the trains and stuff like that. That's very near and dear to his heart. And he's done it himself. Like having a leader that actually went out there and helped like and put himself in harm's way all these years. Like how often do you get that where you get like a politician or somebody that's actually been in the trenches doing the thing? I mean, Adams was, he was also a cop and stuff like that. So Giuliani is available. Yeah. I mean, his reputation is so bad right now. I don't
Nah,
know if he
Giuliani would
can.
be cooked. Giuliani
It,
would
it
be
like
cooked.
you have to think of like the donors and stuff, and they're like,
Yeah.
if they can think like that he would probably win. But oh God, all I'm just saying is just like I'm putting my pennies in a bucket, and hopefully I can just get out of here because this at least the city is just a
I'm
mess.
I'm there with you. across the coast. I am there with you.
I know, girl. I know. All right. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for always joining us. Yeah, we love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Love your comments. Love engaging with you guys. You can always find us on Sunset Rants Mondays and Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. You got Tay and D on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We got like a full lineup. We got the drive-in. That one we were just watching. Was that? My days are like bleeding into each other. Was that yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. It was really good. So definitely go check that out. You go to the best place to do this is go to Rumble. Go to Roman Nation, all one word, and you can see all of it. You can see our Facts and Sass shows that we have linked to that. You can see the Roman Nation shows. You can see, Fluffy's Fafo Friday, which is awesome. We got a lot of different shows happening. So we're trying to build this community, and because of you guys, you really, really help out with that. You can click the Q&R code. We're gonna get that right up at the top here. Thank you. Just go up. It's probably best, but then my finger goes away. Oh God. Anyway, and that'll bring you right to the website. I'm like, just look at my finger, and it's gone. Or you could just type riseinmiddleamerica.com. You can get the Discord, you get the merch, which is a great way to support us and help keep the lights on. But yeah, do you have any final thoughts, Valerie?
Nope. I think you nailed it. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. And yeah, we will be back at same time next Monday. Maybe some new stories, maybe some new updates,
maybe some happy stuff.
Yeah, maybe some happy stuff.
See, try to dig.
But yeah, hopefully the heat wave is over for you guys. Hopefully there's no escalation of war. Hopefully everyone continues to stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
So I got to thinking, there's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. But what we really need to do is make America follow the Constitution again. Motherfucker. That sounded better in my head.